So I've had the GSXR for about a week now, 2 weeks actually. I made this video a week ago, but I had such a runny nose I just didn't want to upload it. Kept sniffling. Still got a bit of a runny nose now, but it's not as bad. Just really, in the time that I've had the bike, I've done about 300 or 400 miles now. And the things I like and dislike about it, and there is a couple of things I don't like. One being that it vibrates loads. Like the handlebars seem so vibrationy. It vibrates so strong sometimes, like, it just almost makes your hands numb. Everything else about the bike, I quite like it. I like the position on it. I like it's a lot more comfortable for me than the R6. Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable. It's a bigger bike for one, and because I'm so tall, the R6 was a little bit small for me. It handles really well. I like how it handles. Sometimes I feel it doesn't turn side to side too quick like the R6 used to. But all in all, it's not bad. But some people have said if you drop the forks back through, then that will make it turn in quicker. But the bike came with the forks lifted up like that. So I don't think I should drop them back through, to be fair. That's how they came. That's how I'm going to keep them. I need to get the suspension set up for myself, because under the front brake, heavy braking and stuff, the front dips a lot, and I don't like that at all. So I've got to get that sorted out so that the front don't dip as bad. And I have took out the DB killer, or the baffle in the exhaust today. Just been out for a ride with my mate, and when we stopped off and the bike's cooled down, I just whipped that out just to see what it sounds like on the way home. Getting traction control kicking in there because of this loose surface, which I'm still riding on free. And it keeps the front wheel down most of the time, not all of the time. Like if you really power on, like full throttle, the front wheel's coming up, you know, you ain't keeping it on the floor. But it shuts it off and it puts it back on the floor, which some people say that they don't like the way that this does that, but if you're going in a straight line, it's not too bad. If you're going around the corner and front wheel comes up and hits the floor, you might have a wobble in the head, but generally if you're going in a straight line, it will lift up, go down and lift up again. As soon as the wheels get to the same speed, the wheelie control will stop, or the traction control, they're both in one. The TC will stop and the front wheel will go straight back up again in the end. But on free it doesn't let it come up very high. All in all, the suspension's quite soft on this, so like I just said, I want to get it set up so that it feels a bit better for me. This road's absolutely filthy. Just stay on the outside here. So yeah, get the suspension set up for myself. Might also take it to the dyno and get the fueling checked over, because a lot of people have said they run very lean because of the Euro 4 stuff. Now I don't have headers on here, I've still got the cats, but I've put a slip-on on. And so get the fueling checked. But I'll tell you what, this without the baffle in, whew, it's a whole different sound. It's just more intrusive on your ears. Should have put my earplugs in. And it makes that quick shifter really make a lot of noise. It already popped when you change gear, but now it's really quite loud. And she's fast. Oh, she's fast. And it don't really matter what gear that you're in, like, it's got VTEC, well not VTEC, it's got variable valve timing. So really the power kicks in at almost 3 to 4,000 RPM, it really wants to pull. Pure torque pulling until 10, and then 10 to 14 is on the power. And I'll rarely get over 10 because you run out of road. If you wanted to get the 14,000 RPM in first gear, you know, you're breaking the speed limit on any road in the UK, even on a dual carriageway. You can't even, you'll break the speed limit in first gear. Brakes are phenomenal. The brakes are awesome. Front brakes mental, but like I said earlier, it just makes the suspension dip quite badly. I don't like that, so I'm gonna hopefully get the suspension sorted out to suit myself a bit better. Back brake almost feels like you ain't got one. Quick shifter and the down blipper. I've not had many problems going up the box, but down the box you have to be careful sometimes, depending on what situation you're in. If you're really high RPM, like you're going for it, and you're braking up the top revs to keep your revs high, then the down blipper's fine. But in town, if you're going to down blip, you can't do it below 2,000 RPM. So if you're just sitting in traffic like now in third gear, just above 2, it's not really worth down blipping there, because if I get stuck, that won't change the gear. I got stuck in fourth gear at the traffic lights the other day. I had to change all my gears before they changed again. We'll go under a bridge, so we can give this a rev up. But the upshift is brilliant. Like, you just pull it up and it changes the gear over 2,000 RPM again, which you're not really changing gear below that very often. So, and the throttle's a little bit lumpy, sitting at one speed like this, so it makes the bike feel jumpy and lumpy. Apparently it's because of the Euro 4 and the dyno fueling, which should sort that out, because they, you know, how they're running because of the Euro 4 emissions rules and stuff. So hopefully the dyno will sort that out. And sometimes you have to be careful quick shifting between 1 and 2, because if you're not deliberate enough with the foot, with the lever, it won't go into 2, it'll just go into neutral. And I've had a couple of instances where it's the gear selector, the gear indicator on there hasn't shown you what gear you're in, so you've changed gear and it's sort of driving but it's not, and the gear indicator just goes blank and it's sort of between gears. I assume that's because you're just not quite deliberate enough with your foot, you know. And again, in second to 1, if you're downshifting, it's best to use the clutch there. Yeah, it's definitely loud as fuck.